Next is Rhodes, with the Acropolis of Lindos and Medieval Rhodes full-day tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $89. Note, this tour includes a special skip-the-line admission of the Lindos Acropolis. Built in 1000 BC, it's nearly 500 years older than the Acropolis in Athens, and is the oldest intact settlement of the Bronze Age in Europe. So let's begin in usual fashion with what you won't see in Rhodes. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world once proudly stood here. He was the Colossus of Rhodes, and of course, long departed, probably destroyed by an earthquake. Nevertheless, as you arrive on this wonderful historic island, you may just be able to imagine this statue of the Greek sun god Helios in 280 BC, standing 100 feet tall in celebration of Rhodes' victory over Cyprus, the largest of the Dodecanese islands. Rhodes has a compelling backstory, and there are still remnants of its occupation by Britons, Knights of St. John during the Crusades. So while the Colossus may not be there, you will be wowed by many historical sites. We first traveled to Lindos, about 50 miles from Rhodes' historic Old Town. Lindos is an eternal old village, like the Plaka in Athens, and is a postcard version of the White City that's made Greece so famous. High above the village sits the impressive Acropolis of Lindos that was started in 1000 BC. Its main feature is the Doric Temple of Athena, built in 300 BC. Captains' mansions, constructed between the 16th and 18th centuries, are dotted here and there. In the heart of Lindos is the Church of the Virgin Mary, with lovely frescoes from the 15th century. Lindos is a fairy tale village that's the shopper's dream. Later, return back to Rhodes, where you learn about the Crusades and the medieval character of ancient city and its Knights' Quarter. We'll stroll through the Gate d'Ambrose to walk along the Street of the Knights and see where they lived, separated according to order, their crests still visible today. We'll also see outside the imposing palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of the Rhodes, a medieval castle also known as the Castello. It's one of the few examples of Gothic architecture in Greece. The Byzantine citadel was built in the 7th century, the palace itself in the 14th. Where the palace sits today could well have been the spot where once stood the Colossus, according to recent studies. Either way, this tour takes us into the heart of the fascinating history of Rhodes. Sometimes the best way of immersing yourself completely in the history and atmosphere of a place is to explore on foot. And that's exactly what we do on this fascinating tour, where we get to the very heart of medieval Rhodes and the compelling story of the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem. We begin along the Street of Knights in the Old City. It's one of the best preserved medieval thoroughfares anywhere in Europe.